Well, the Earth is getting hit with a big solar storm today, but it's not as bad as scientists had originally thought. So here's what it is. Basically, it's a burst of highly charged particles from the sun. It did cut some communication at the poles, I guess North Pole and South Pole is what we'd be referring to, but power outages, electronic failures didn't really happen. All
right, well, KTLA's Christina Pascucci is up at the Griffith Park Observatory with more on what scientists are saying about this solar flare. Christina.
Good afternoon, Glenn and Jessica. The solar storm not as bad as first thought yet, but we still could see the effects through tomorrow. And my inner geek in me coming out right now. I want to show you guys right now this live picture of the sun. This is from the solar telescope at the Griffith Observatory. This is so cool. You can see here the sunspots. This little spot right here is about the size of the Earth. So just to give you some scale, isn't that incredible? And these spots are where the solar flares are most likely to come out from. And joining me now is Dr. Krupp. He's from the Griffith Observatory to break this down for us. Good afternoon.
How are you?
Thank you for being here. We appreciate your time. So first, just break down a solar storm for us and exactly what's happening.
Solar flare is an explosion in the atmosphere of the sun. And when that explosion occurs, tremendous amount of energy is released and material is blown through interplanetary space, eventually reaches us here, and can affect our technology in orbit and on the ground.
Now, we could see the effects of this till tomorrow. Will our cell phones, GPS, satellites, things that even power grids possibly be affected?
I think it's very unlikely that we're going to see any of that occur. We probably would have seen some of it already, but there have been precautionary steps taken with aircraft following other paths so that they're not close to the area where most of the interference would occur.
Right. Now, this is the beginning, you say, of more solar activity to come. Tell us about that.
The sun has been around for about 4.5 billion years, and it goes through a cycle of activity every 11 years. So it's been doing it a long time. We get periods of intense solar activity, and we're moving into that now over the course of the next 2 years. We'll be seeing more sunspots, more flares.
And even though people are saying, you know, this is kind of a dead of a solar storm, this is a huge event.
It's extraordinary, one, that we can observe it, two, that we can figure out what it's going to do, and three, we can take some action for it. And we really should be grateful that we know the flare is on its way and that we actually protect our satellites from it.
And I'm a huge science nerd, especially being here in the observatory and seeing everything. Not in addition to this is a complete side note from the solar flares and storm, but today people will actually be able to see 4 planets with the naked eye and a full moon.
For sure you've got the full moon, can't miss that. You've got Jupiter and Venus close to each other in the western sky, Mars on the other side of the sky. Mercury is out there, but almost impossible to see in the environment of a big city like Los Angeles. But up here at Griffith Observatory, the telescopes are operating.
All right, so you can get out here till 10 o'clock tonight at the Griffith Observatory if you would like to view any of these amazing happenings. Thank you so much for your time. I'm live here at the Griffith Observatory. I'll send it back to you guys.
Christina, so fascinating, and I love Mr. Krupp's explanation much better than we could have done.
Oh, absolutely. He is very...
He did a good job.
He's very animated about all this.
He is, and he's getting around.
The students here think so, too.
And what a great place to go, the Griffith Observatory.
It's, you know, it's such an iconic symbol in Los Angeles.
It is.
But it's a great science center.
All right, thank you, guys.
I'm Christina Pascucci at Griffith Observatory. The solar storm hits the Earth. It's not over yet. Plus, what a live image of the sun looks like, that and much more coming up in minutes.
In years, a massive flare blasting toward the Earth. The effects have been less severe than expected, but Christina Pascucci reports it is a spectacular sight all the same.
It's just mind-boggling.
Tell me how it makes you feel when you think of the universe.
I think it's fascinating.
The universe has piqued human interest since the beginning of time, and this latest solar flare is no exception. And then here at the Griffith Observatory, we actually get to see a live image of the sun from their solar telescope that's on the roof. You can see the sunspots. These are where the solar flares erupt, causing the solar storm. This little spot right here is actually the size of the Earth. Imagine the amount of energy that erupts from a sunspot the same size as our planet. Scientists say for the perfect storm, so to speak, the flares have to be facing toward Earth and...
It has to go very fast. This ball of gas and magnetic fields will eventually hit the Earth.
As the solar flares hit our Earth, they send tremendous amounts of energy, disrupting electronics.
Our electronic technology is what's vulnerable, so satellites in space have to be shielded. Those satellites serve our telephones, our cell phone systems, they serve our GPS, navigation systems for aircraft. All of those things can be put at risk.
This particular storm did little damage, just interrupting communication at the poles for a short while and caused some rerouting of flights. As it continues Friday, scientists say you should not be concerned.
I don't expect anything really consequential to happen between now and as the storm gradually fades.
Scientists do say as the 11-year solar cycle reaches its peak in a couple years, we can expect much more intense solar storms ahead. Christina Pascucci, KTLA 5 News.